Well, back in June, Sharon Osbourne told her fellow Talk TV panellists that her husband, rock legend Ozzy, needed major surgery, and it was an operation which would determine the rest of his life. And she hasn't left his side since. But over the weekend, Ozzy was spotted for the first time as leaving hospital out and about with Sharon and the kids in LA. I'm delighted to say Sharon joins me now live. Sharon, good evening to you.
Good evening, my darling.
Now, I've spent the last 20 minutes boasting about the fact it was going to be you and Ozzy, and he's done a runner.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
He's a bastard tonight, let me tell you. Now he's back walking, he's a diva. Before it was like, oh, you know, the nicest guy, you know, please help me do this, do that.
Okay.
Don't want to do it. I'm not doing this, I'll do this. So he's become a diva again.
Well,
he thinks he's bloody Beyonce.
Well, I quite like the fact she's a diva again, because it means he's healthy again, at least. And he's been, let's be honest,
I know.
Ozzy's
Stop it.
been through a hell of a series of health battles, hasn't he? He diagnosed with a form of Parkinson's. He had a rough bout of COVID, and then he had this surgery on his, I think, on his neck, right? It's all, and does this all go back, Sharon?
Okay.
Does it all go back to when he had the terrible quad bike accident?
Part of it, yes. Yes, part of it, because then he had another serious fall on his neck, and then it affected his spine because the spinal column was trapped. So it's just been, it's like a domino effect. You do one thing medically, then another thing happens, and another, and it's just been it's 3.5 years of,
You serious?
of just nightmare. But you know what, there's light now, and he's walking great, he's got no more pain. He's a pain in my ass because he's now a diva, but I don't mind.
But he's good.
And,
how is he feeling?
Very good question.
Other than being a
good.
diva, how's he feeling?
He's doing good because there's no pain. The last operation fixed all the pain that he'd been in for, you know, 3.5 years. So that way, you know, it's like lifting, you know, a huge weight from him. So, you know, he's busy doing promotion for his record that's coming out in September, and he's loving life right now.
Is he going to be able to perform live, tour again, do you think?
Very good question.
Yes, next year, definitely.
Well, that's amazing.
Yes.
Given where he was, he must be thrilled, huh?
Oh, it's like a miracle, Piers, and he's like, you know, his song Iron Man. He really is Iron Man. I mean,
Oh my God!
he comes back over and over again.
Yeah. He does.
He's unbelievable.
I mean, I know it's been really rough for you, because we've had a few, you know, quite intense conversations in the last couple of years about Ozzy's various health things. You're unbelievably close to each other. You were on the other side of the world a couple of times when he was, you know, taken with COVID, and then he had to have the surgery and stuff. It's been rough for you, Sharon. How have you dealt with it all?
Oh, you know, it's not just me.
Wait for it.
It's the whole family, because, you know, you're always on edge like this. You know, every cough, every time he would stumble trying to walk, I mean, you're just on edge. But it's, you know, it's just behind it.
That doesn't make sense.
And now all we can do is just, you know, hope and look into the light, and everything's going to be fine. And listen, 10 days ago, Jack had his baby girl.
Yes.
And so that's brought such joy. Woo! And Kelly's pregnant.
It's fantastic. The Osbourne breeding factory is alive and well.
It is. It is. We're back in business.
Are they basically breeding the next generation of wild
Here it comes.
rock chicks and blokes?
I hope so. But
well, look, please send Sharon, send them all my very best, won't you? Ozzy, Kelly and Jack. I want to talk to you, if I can, just about a couple of things in the news, because we miss you on the talk.
Okay.
Wait for you to be back on that. I want to talk to you about a couple of things. One, your reaction to this extraordinary story of that Diana interview that we all remember so well, and the appalling fallout where it turns out Martin Bashir just basically forged documents to persuade people around Diana that all sorts of stuff was going down, including Tiki Leadbert, the boy's nanny, having an affair with Charles, you know, having an abortion after being impregnated by his son, all complete nonsense, but all designed to get into Diana's
Stop it.
paranoid mind so that she did the interview. What do you think of it?
Yes. I mean, it's horrendous. You would never believe that this could have gone on with the BBC. That, you know, their credibility, they're, you know, the biggest news
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
agency in the world. Everything they do is, you know, perfect. They're the perfect news station. And it's like, look at what they did to a family. Just think if they hadn't have done that,
Wait for it.
that marriage might have turned out very, very differently.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
Everybody's lives would have turned out so differently. And it's appalling. It's like unthinkable to think of the
Here it comes.
damage mentally, physically that the BBC did to the royal family. And not just the royal family, people that were very loyal to them.
Yes. I mean, Tiggy was unbelievably loyal.
You know,
Never gave interviews, never talked
Yeah.
about them. Total soul of discretion.
Never, ever.
No! God, please, no!
Yeah.
And the thing is, it too, the nation turned, listen, divorced, you never get involved in people's divorces, ever. That's one thing I've learned. But with everything that was being reported, Charles looked so bad, so bad.
Yeah.
And the whole nation at that time were against him, and it was all for, you know, about Diana. But it's, you know, I get that. But if they hadn't have done that, maybe they could have got
Stop it.
their marriage back together, and, you know, who knows what could have happened.
Yeah. The other royal thing that's been in the news is this big Tom Bower book about Meghan and Harry. Paints a pretty awful picture, actually, of the pair of them. And we have this bizarre speech by Harry on Nelson Mandela Day this week, sort of linking their own struggle for freedom with Nelson Mandela's 27 years in prison. What do you make of these two? What's going on with them?
Very good question.
I think they're lost, and I think that they're trying to find their place in the world. I think they're totally lost. You know, one minute they're making a cartoon, then they're doing a documentary on them, now they're saving the world.
Okay.
They just haven't found their path in life yet. I really believe that. They're lost. They're floundering.
Should they be, but Sharon, my point is they can do what the hell they like, but should they be allowed to use the royal titles to fleece the system and make all this money and pretend to be like a rival royal family? That's what sticks in my gullet about it.
Yeah, I just don't. I haven't from day one been into the fact of, you know, talking about private things that went on in the royal family.